Okay guys, so today we have a unit from a customer. We don't have any descriptions of the fault, so we will have to figure it out by ourselves. At the first look, I don't know if you can see, but there's some uh, carbon residues in the exhaust. So first we will hook it up to a diagnosis and see what kind of faults we have in this unit. Okay, so I have the unit mounted on the test bench. We just connected the fuel line for now. I am using an how do you say, epsilon adapter, so we can make a diagnosis. And today I am using this guy. It's really old, an older diagnostics, but for this generation 1 heater it will be just fine. So we are going to power it up, and we will go to the diagnosis and see what it's telling us. So in the edit software that I'm using, we have an automatic detection mode, and we will run that. Okay, so we found a heater, and we are going to read out the data from it. Okay. Okay. So these are the errors we have. From what I can see, most of our working hours are on high mode, and this is, I think, because of this error, set point interruption, and somebody didn't make the bridge between red, gray and brown white wires, and this is what happens exactly. The heater will run only on high power, and it will not regulate. Okay, so we have some kind of short circuit. I believe this is because someone didn't insulate the extra wires that are left after connecting the controller, and of course we have some flame out errors. So judging by the exhaust of the unit, I think we will have some problems at the burning chamber, but for now we will start the unit and see what happens. So we are back in this menu, and we will go to functional check this time, and the unit should start. Okay, we are rest set point control. We will do it via this software because it's easier. And yes, we will set about, I don't know, 30 degrees. It's okay. Okay, so we will wait for the unit to start. As you can see, the fan is spinning, and we will wait to see the exhaust. So the unit tried to start, but now actually it doesn't fire up, only smokes. So it will try again, and maybe after that we will have the fault code. I believe it will be 52, but we will wait and see. Okay, so the heater on the second attempt, we can hear the pump, and actually right away we can see that we are pumping air. So I will stop and prime the pump. Okay, so we are on the second attempt. Now we have taken care of the fuel. We still have some little air bubbles, but that's I think is normal. But now you can see the smoke is really doing its thing. So I think this unit will not start, so we will have to take it apart. I know this looks a little bit I don't know how to say messy, but actually it's a controlled mess, and sometimes it makes sense for me to leave the wires like this, because if I have to connect different controllers and test them, it's always easier than using the plugs. So just a little bit of sample of what this looks like. I have to say I'm in a really big space, so I don't really have to worry about intoxication. Yeah. So it's clear that the unit is not starting, and we are going to move to take it apart. Okay, so I'm sorry I don't have something to hold my phone, so this will be kind of hard to do, but anyway, we have to take off this end of the heater, and we can do this using a screwdriver. And also after that we will take down the top, and this is held down by just 2 clips, and it's easy to do. And also we will remove the gasket, and then we can take the whole plastic thing off, and we will go from there. Okay, so we have got the unit opened, we took off all plastic, and now the next step is to take down the ECU by removing these screws, and also after that we'll just push this little clamp here, and the ECU should come off. Also we need to disconnect some connectors here, and one on the other side, and that's about it. One thing to keep in mind when we are putting this back together, the wires should be routed this way, so the ECU can fix back to its place and avoid touching the fan. So we have this down now, and I don't know if you can see this little plastic. The wires should be behind this one. The wires from the glow plug, and also from the overheat sensor, which is located here on the top of the heat exchanger. So next step, we want to get inside the heater, so we will take the fan off. The fan is fixed with 4 screws, so I'll be doing that and go on from there. Okay, so we have the fan off. It looks okay, clean. You should always check this gap right here between the plastic and the case, so it's not too big. It's about I don't know, 0.3 millimeters or something like that, but in this case looks okay, so we don't have a problem here. We will put it down. Okay, we have a gasket that is mounted here, and we can already see there is some unburned fuel here. And taking a look inside, I think some holes are filled with dust from the burning chamber, and also there's a strainer inside here, and I believe we need to change that. Okay, so first of all we will take out the glow plug using a tool, something like this, and then this is supplied with every spare part, so I don't think there's a problem. Also, you can make your own from a 14 or 12 millimeter, I don't recall exactly. And this is because the glow plug has its wires and there's no way you can take it out, or maybe you can try from here using a wrench. Maybe that's something you can do, but in some cases you don't want to open up the whole heater, you only want to check the glow plug, so you will need that tool. Okay, so now I got the tool on the glow plug. It's just a matter of pulling this rubber seal out from its place and then inserting this tool and unscrewing the glow plug, and after that we will take these 3 screws out and take out the burning chamber. Okay, so we got the glow plug out, and as you can see there is some dirt and other things on it. Okay, and I believe this is not a problem. This can be easily taken off. Usually there is a little water in the fuel, and this is just how the glow plug reacts to it, but from my point of view this glow plug is still okay, and I don't think we need to change it. Okay, so we got the burning chamber out, and it's pretty obvious that fuel is just going in and it's not burning. You can also see the inside of the heat exchanger. Also, as you probably observed, the gasket it's cracked, so obviously that it's also changing. Myself, I recommend changing this gasket every time you open the heater. It's not an expensive part, and it's just something you need to do. Another thing that we can see is this little hole here. Actually it's full of dirt, and this is mostly because of a lot of dust in the air or in the intake and stuff like that. Also here inside we can see it's a lot of carbon or some deposits, and surely the strainer inside needs to be changed, and we will have to see if this burning chamber will still fire up after doing this. Okay, so I'm trying to show you this, but even with every light turned on it's still hard to see. So there is no special tool to take out that mesh, but using a small screwdriver I pry it away from one side of the hole, and then I'm using this little plier, which I already grinded off so it can fit in the hole. I will hold to one side of the strainer and just pull it out. Okay, so it is out. This little guy actually put up quite a fight, so it was not really easy to take out, but you can see from the state of it that it's full of dirt, and of course the unit it's not starting. Also, if you take a look inside, you can see it's full of kinds of deposits, and also again this is very important, this hole is also filled up with dirt. So we will move on, clean this up a little bit. I usually use some brake pad cleaner, and yeah, that's it. Actually, it's not so bad inside, so I think this will go fast. Okay, so we cleaned this burner up. We cleaned the hole, and also, if you guys look closely at the bottom, you can see there's a channel, or some kind of channel right after the trees. This also has to be cleaned very good. Usually workshops miss cleaning that, and just change the strain. Also sometimes they do not unplug this hole. Okay, we clean this also. We got the parts here. It's really hard to see by eye, but for the camera it's more harder. But actually, besides from this unburned fuel, the inside mesh from the burning chamber actually looks pretty clean. So I believe after running it for maybe an hour or two on the highest settings, this everything will be cleaned out here by itself. So moving on, this is the spare mesh that we will put in this hole. It also has a mounting tool, so you will insert it actually to the required depth, so we'll be doing that. Another thing to consider, as you can see, this mesh has this little spot welds, and I always make sure that I put it opposite side from where the fuel comes in. Actually, this should be easy to insert, and this tool should only insert it to the depth that it's needed. So yeah, we just push that in, and that's pretty much it. This is how the mesh looks changed, and you can see it's quite a difference from where we were at the start. Okay, so the next thing, we will be putting the new gasket. We will be putting back the burning chamber, and finally we will test it. Just wanted to show you guys the burning chamber gasket is in. It's actually fits only in one position, so you can't go wrong. Okay, so we fitted the burning chamber in. It's time for the blow plug. I just cleaned it a little bit, but be very careful with these wires because they can easily snap off, and then there's nothing really else you can do but buy a new one. Okay, so now that's in. Just be careful, do not over tighten it. It should be tight, but I don't know, it's not really a bolt or something that needs to be tightened very hard. Or else maybe next time you take it apart, it will be very hard to take it out. Okay, so it's time for the blower gasket. This one is metal, so if it's not really in a bad shape, there's no reason to change it. I just wiped it, and we'll be putting it back, and also the blower and 4 screws, and that's about it. So just like I told you at the start of the video, you have to take care to put the wires behind that clamp on the ECU, so it will fit nicely back together. Don't forget the screw, and also connect everything back like it was. We should take care of these 2 connectors. They only fit in one place, so there's nothing really that you can do wrong. Okay, so everything's in place now. The two connectors from the sensors, overheat and control, and no, overheat and flame. This is a combined sensor on the top of the unit, and also the connector from the fan. Okay, the control unit knows the rotation of the fan because of this little magnet, and the control unit has a Hall sensor here on the top, and this is what reads the RPM of the fan. Okay, so we will be putting back this little screw, putting back the case, and we will start it up again to see if anything changed. Um, if it will not work, then usually the next thing is to put a new burning chamber inside the unit. Okay, so we have mounted the case to the unit. We will not put this end on right now. For testing it's okay like this. I hooked up the tester, everything, the fuel and the exhaust is hooked up, so we will start it. Okay, so we are starting again from the diagnosis, and we see that the glow plug, everything is on. We see the rotation of the fan, flame sensor, temperature, and I think actually we need to know. We can see the battery voltage is a little bit low. That's because I'm running from just a battery, but anyway, I will charge it up. So first we are seeing some smoke, and this is normal because of the fuel that remained in the burning chamber. So now the pump started. The unit is starting to burn, actually, not like before. So I think this unit is repaired. Maybe just a little smoke coming out, but this will clear out after working for a while. Okay, just make sure you take away anything that could light up from the exhaust. Okay, so now the heater, after maybe 4 minutes, it's stabilized, everything is working fine. It switched to power mode, and heating output it's 100%. Everything looks fine, normal. The unit is working. There's absolutely no more smoke coming out of exhaust. Everything sounds fine. The burning process sounds like it's complete, and so I consider this unit to be fixed. Of course, I will be cleaning it up a little bit from the outside. Also, not to forget to put back this gasket, and that's pretty much about it. Also, we will delete all error codes from this unit, and in the final report that we will do to the customer, we will mention this set point value interruption, because at this time I believe the unit is not functioning correctly where it's mounted, and it's only working on 75%, as we saw that from the hours, working hours. So we will delete the errors, and that's about it. So for you guys who also want to do this to your D2 heater, here are the part numbers used, and actually I consider this more or less like a yearly maintenance, and this is just something I would do before winter to ensure that I don't have problems in the season. So thank you guys for watching this. I'm sorry if I don't have yet something to fix my phone on, so you can see me also working, but I think this will change. I will be back with other error codes and other defects also on other Eberspacher heaters, so please subscribe and like this video, and thank you very much for your attention.